At Knowi, we often get compared to BI tools, and that's an understandable comparison, but hopefully by the end of this video, you get to Knowi that we are far more than that. Sorry. Many years ago, we were responsible for data and analytics across companies where we were at. And the common thread across all of them, well, it was so difficult to go from underlying raw data to what the business requires and all the pieces in between. And that problem has become exponentially more difficult over the last many years. So the industry will tell you to take the raw data, move it to a data warehouse, then you transform it, then you put it back into a data warehouse, then you have a BI tools and you have a cataloging solutions, and then you have your security governance. It's a complete shit show out there with too many tools, too many people, too many processes, while the business is clamoring for insights. Knowi was founded on the premise where if you had to do this from the ground up, what would it look like? That's what we've tried to do. And today, Knowi is used by many of the largest companies in the world. We are a company based in San Francisco Bay Area. We've stayed away from institutional capital and VCs and are profitable. With that, let me get right into the product architecture side of things. Knowi's foundation is this dataset as a service layer. Think of it as data models that are trusted, reusable, and abstracts all the complexities of the underlying data. So where's the data from? Is it structured, unstructured? Is it real time? Is it grabbing from multiple sources? And these data sets are something that the business users can go to town on. And you can do all of that without having to move or ship the underlying raw data. You can connect into any SQL database. You can natively connect into NoSQL databases, any of your existing data warehouses, files, anything with an API. And you can also join across data sources. Let's say you have data in Elasticsearch and you have data in a MySQL database that you want to join across. You can build those queries in Knowi across both, and we'll push those queries down in parallel. On the join result, you can do your transformations, clean it up, and then the final data is your data set. And then there is security and governance built right in on that data set. Is also immediately API enabled, so any of your other systems can consume it. And you also have 3 different data strategy modes. The first one is a direct mode. That means it's going to go against the data source directly. The second option is we can run these queries periodically and store the results. So Knowi comes with an inbuilt data store where you can store the results at scale. The third option is you can write this data set into your own data warehouse. So this is what we call our DB write option. So instead of storing the raw data, you are storing what you need with these curated data sets. There's also an option to push the data into Knowi using our push API. So how is this different to the way things are done today? Today, you have to transport the raw data, store it into a warehouse, use transformation tools to transform it, and then store it back. So you're paying for the transportation tool, you're paying for storage, you're paying for transforms, which racks up your compute. And then you have to cobble together at least 3 different tools, even at this level, to get it all to work and monitor it. Real-time use cases, forget about it because you have to wait for the data to be in the data warehouse. And your data warehouse becomes a data outhouse very quickly. With Knowi's approach, we've eliminated about 3 different tools. We save you a whole bunch of money, save you a whole bunch of complexity, gives you an agile way to get to the data very quickly, and has support for real-time use cases. And now on top of this unified data layer, you have BI and visualizations capabilities. So dashboards, drill downs, 40 different visualization types. And then there's search-based analytics, which is the ability to ask questions in plain English and get answers back. It's a game changer when it comes to self-service analytics. So it's based on what you type, it will do a search across all data sets that the user has access to. And based on the match, it will do computations on that data set to give you the results back. There's a search bar in Knowi you can use, or you can use it directly from Slack or Microsoft Teams. Then you've got alerts, which pushes the data to you at the right time. So it could be some simple threshold alerts. It could be anomaly detection using machine learning that we support. Or it could be some custom alerting logic that you've configured. You can white label any piece of Knowi. You can embed a dashboard or visualization into your own application, embed the search bar, and even the query layer if you want with security and SSO. Knowi also comes with some machine learning capabilities, so you can create your own classification, regression, or anomaly detection models within Knowi, deploy it, and then combine it with your existing data to drive predictions and actions. If you have created models outside of Knowi, that can be integrated within Knowi using an API. Actions can range from sending reports or dashboards out to Slack or email, as well as sending data via webhooks to third-party systems and so on. Deployment-wise, we have a few options. You can use our Knowi managed cloud service, nothing to install, or you can use our on-premise version, which can be Docker, Kubernetes, or a native, fully native installation. So that's it. This is what Knowi does. Let me take you on a ride with Knowi. First, we're going to take a look at the data engineering layer, how you can create data models across data sources without having to move the raw data. Then we'll segue into the business user use cases, how they can create dashboards from the data models, how they can ask questions in plain English, and show you some cool things along the way. On the data engineering section of the product, we help you connect into a variety of data sources, from SQL databases to NoSQL databases to APIs and cloud services. And this area is primarily targeted towards people who know what they're doing on the data engineering side of things. It needs that power and sophistication since data use cases can be inherently complex. So in this example, I'm connecting into two databases, one MongoDB, another MySQL database. I've defined queries across both. I can either write those queries directly or use our Visual Builder to create them. And the end result is a joined result set across both of those databases using a key across them. And then you can add calculated fields and transform it further any step of the way. Now on this end result, you have three options. You can set it to be real-time against the database, or two, you can store the results directly into Knowi and have incremental updates on it. Or number three, you can write it into your own data warehouse like Snowflake or Redshift. Once you save it, this data set is where all the magic happens. So on the one hand, it abstracts all the complexity of the underlying data. And on the other hand, it provides security, governance, and is reusable. So once you've created this, you can reuse and inherit this so you don't have to repeat yourself every time. And it's also ready for business users to use. So to summarize it, we didn't have to move the raw data from different sources. We didn't have to use multiple tools to join data across data sources to transform them. And we have data immediately accessible and ready for the business user. Now let's have some fun with the business use cases. Say I want to create a view from this data to get sent volume by customer on a weekly basis. And as I'm thinking of those questions, you can type those in plain English and bingo, I get the results I want, visualize it the way I want it. And now I have a view from that data set and I can go on creating more views from that data as I see fit without having to get data engineering involved. You can also drag and drop and create functions and so on right from the UI as well for more advanced use cases too. Now let's put this into a dashboard. To create a simple dashboard with those in there, you can add filters and drill downs, and there are about 40 different visualization types, reports you can send periodically. Best-in-class BI capabilities, basically. If you want alerts or anomaly detection, you can set up an anomaly detection alert from the view we've just created. You can also take anything you've created in Knowi and embed that as part of your applications, including dashboards, the search bar, even the queries and the widgets as well. I won't go into too much detail here, but you can also use Knowi's machine learning workspace to create your own models and integrate your current data with the models you've created to derive foresights from the data as well. If you use a collaboration tool like Slack or Microsoft Teams, we have tight integration with them. So not only can you send alerts and dashboards to it, you can also access any of your data right within Slack. For example, I can request the latest dashboard on demand from Slack ahead of a meeting. I can also ask questions against any of my data. For example, what is the average price for Tesla weekly since last year? And based on what I've typed in, it will go find the right data set based on the keywords. And on that data set, compute the average price for Tesla on a weekly basis since last year. I can also ask additional follow-up questions. For example, compare the average price for Tesla versus Amazon. So that's an intro into some of Knowi's capabilities. There are more in-depth videos in our YouTube channel or on our docs pages. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Thank you very much.